Welcome to another episode of Hard Factor presented by the Barstool News Network. It is Tuesday, August 4th, 2020. And guys, I got to update the Daddy Kit. It's a sponsor.
Yes.
It's a sponsor.
The sperm collecting kit is a sponsor.
Yes.
Nice.
Yep. So before we hop into the stories, just wanted to clear that up from yesterday. I had thought maybe somebody was just trying to slyly collect my sperm.
Not a stalker, it's a sponsor.
It was a lot of hubris there, William.
Yeah.
A lot of ego.
No, I did suggest could be a sponsor though.
You did. You were onto it from the beginning.
Now,
didn't get any emails on it. It still could have been that maybe Daddy was like sly like a fox, like we said, and wanted to.
I think it could be marketing
get extra
genius.
ad reads because they wanted to throw us off and not let us know that
On the one hand, I like that it's a sponsor because I love having new sponsors. But on the other hand, I don't like it because I really liked the idea of someone gunning for your seed and the rabbit hole that would take us down, you know?
That's true. That is a funny rabbit hole, but we're a daddy pod now. And so we just have to, just have to kind of, who's going to take the test?
Well, I mean,
who's putting it in the bank?
If they send me one, I'm nutting all up in that cup, and I would love to have a competition amongst you boys on who's got the best sperm count.
Oh wow!
Yeah. I'll take that.
I challenge anyone at Barstool.
Okay, I saw that KFC and Feidelberg are already trying to challenge each other.
Okay, well, I open it to them as well. Anyone at Barstool that wants to take on my sperm count, I'm willing to go for it.
I would say theoretically, maybe Barstool Breakfast would have the highest sperm count, but then a lot of those guys are older and have been hitting the genitals quite a bit. So specifically Willie Colon. So I don't know.
Willie just had a kid. Large is like got to be pushing 50 something, right? He has 3 kids, right?
He's actually 34. Large is.
He's 34. Okay,
it's just surprising. Yeah,
just had kids really young. As a teen.
Yeah, he just looks old for his age. No, I mean, okay, Mark. Well, it looks like I might be shipping this Tony Stark box to you.
Yeah, we did. At least we talked about how gorgeous the box was, because that would have been awkward.
What if we just?
Oh no, it's an incredible product, and you'll be hearing more about it. We're now a daddy pod for sure. We'll also have, but this week we got Caliper CBD. The Heart Hive is thriving with sperm collection and CBD products. It's
what
incredible.
if we just pass the box around? We all make a run on it, and then we send it in, and then
I think once it seals,
cookie the box.
Once it seals, it seals.
Well, then we're all gonna have to be in
but
one
you don't
place.
have to necessarily seal it after the first use. Not
how sperm works. Whoever got the most recent nut in there is going to win the competition.
Okay. Well, we're gonna have to see. We'll have
what
to
about a
look up the
swirl
rules.
situation?
Send him a swirl.
Right.
Yeah, well, Pat and I could get in the same location. We could get it in there pretty simultaneously, I think.
Yeah, the box may be headed down to Austin. Yeah, I don't really need to get tested. So
true.
But the storage maybe. I don't know.
It could be like a "don't look at me" jerk off scenario with me and Pat, and we just try to.
We'll get a pizza.
Anyways, we should move on. Yeah, we'll get a pizza.
You get a what?
We'll get a pizza. Yeah, watch Bloodsport.
Oh, and just like have a bukkake party with the package. There you go.
That's right.
All right. So today it's a new sponsor, Daddy. You'll hear more about. We'll have a sweet Daddy deal for you guys for the Heart Hive later this month. We got Caliper CBD right now, another great sponsor. But what we're going to get into today is 6 hard-hitting journalistic explorations into what's going on right now in the world. Mark,
the 6-pack.
Mm-hmm. Chugging a 6-pack of stories.
Drink it down. Don't drive after.
Yeah. Story number 1. You're still under the limit. You know what's coming, guys. I hope the rest of the stories get better after this, because we're going to the corner of one of my favorite tag teams from the early WWF days, the Natural Disasters. You guys remember them?
Who was in that? I don't remember.
Typhoon and Earthquake. They're both about 500 pounds. It was just two guys in singlets, and their finishing moves were a combination of sitting on your face or jumping on you with their belly. They didn't last too long. Yeah, Typhoon and Earthquake.
They call that the FEMA relief when you tap out from the natural disaster.
But we're going to talk about real natural disasters like Tropical Storm Isaias. It's not Isaias. It's Isaias, which turned into a hurricane late last night, or it was like just on the border of like a Cat 3. It was a tropical storm, but it's going to affect over 100 million Americans. Like 120 million Americans are in its path, all the way from Georgia to Massachusetts. It's just going straight up the East Coast, really hitting North Carolina and a little bit of South Carolina, but North Carolina hard, I guess, last night into the early morning. We don't have an update because we're recording late, Monday night, but it was supposed to land on the Carolinas late Monday night, and then it's supposed to go up to all the way to Massachusetts through DC, Philadelphia, New York, all day, like
East
Tuesday.
Coast getting a bath. Yeah.
Just getting a big old bath, inches and inches of rain. And it sucks because I lived in the Outer Banks in North Carolina for a summer. And the summer after I left, or 2 years after I left, I got hit with a pretty bad hurricane. And I worked in the restaurant industry, as most, young kids did, just to get by and have an awesome summer. And those restaurants, when they get hit by these hurricanes, they're not equipped. Like, they don't have sand dunes to block it, like sometimes in Florida you have. And these fucking restaurants and these business owners just like lose their business or for at least a season. So it's really shitty. And hopefully everyone in the Carolinas, when you're listening to this, it didn't hit that hard. Hopefully we don't know.
Thanks, God.
Top of COVID.
This is exactly what we need right now, God.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty.
It's hurricane season. It's back.
Neptune should be ashamed of himself right now.
Right, Poseidon, Neptune, you son of a bitch. But he, the problem with this type of thing, Will, is like when it gets all the way up to the north, like the New York areas, Massachusetts, like they're just not equipped to handle any storm surges at all. So hopefully it doesn't get bad. Like a Category 3 can do as much damage as a Category 4, potentially 5 in places like Florida or places more equipped to handle a hurricane.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's bad when it hits anywhere. I mean,
course.
You live on the eastern seaboard and especially the Gulf Coast, and it's just this time of year.
Yeah, such is life. So hopefully everyone driving today, like we said, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York City, all of those metro areas are in danger of severe flooding today. So drivers, commuters, be careful. Don't go down any roads that get flooded because that's not good. You're not going to believe this stat, but the National Hurricane Center says 90% of deaths in hurricanes come from water-related incidents. So
come on,
steer clear of the flooding.
No, you don't say.
Yeah, thanks. Next National Hurricane Center.
What would be wind? I guess
debris
would be the only other thing.
Like a tree falling on your head. I don't know.
Yeah.
Would that still be water because it fell from the storm?
Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah,
well,
suicides.
Or if like a hurricane takes out a bullet
Totally
factory,
unrelated. Yeah.
Sharks.
Then you got
like
a whole
alligators.
bunch of bullets flying at you at 90 miles an hour. That's bad.
Looters. That was
Murders. Yeah, murderers.
That's true.
They're more brazen because they don't expect to get caught by the police warrant out. Anyways, Isaias is going to be a real pain in the ass all the way through Wednesday, it sounds like.
What a name, though. They named it a pain in the ass name. It's like learning the word acai all over again.
It is.
Isaias.
Boomer Isaias and Isaias. I don't know. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. And there's another storm forming right behind it because, it's hurricane season, Will, like you said. So get your umbrellas and your 40-ounce bottles of hurricanes. Have yourself a hurricane party indoors. Stay safe. Speaking of hurricanes, you know who could use some water? The thousands of people forced to evacuate from the mountains in East Los Angeles due to wildfires. So we got wildfires on the other coast.
Yeah,
we got
Elon
hurricanes.
Musk, why don't you figure this
wildfires.
out? Why don't you reroute this storm over there where they need it? You fucking selfish bastard.
It's a good point, Beav. Like, how has not they do coincide, fire season and hurricane season? How has Elon not fixed this and figured it out yet? That's a great.
He's got all those things in the satellite links. Can he control the weather like that shitty movie? I don't know. The Apple Fire in Riverside County has already consumed more than 40 square miles of dry brush and timber. It broke out on Friday, and as of the time of this recording, it was only 5 to 10% contained. So that's not good. To make matters worse, Mount San Giorgio, which is right in the middle where this fire is way too steep and dangerous to fight the fire with any sort of conventional firefighting. Besides, I guess they can try to do helicopters, but it's not even worth it. So they're just letting the fire burn.
Going to burn, right?
Yeah, they're letting the fire burn.
Some
up the
parts
mountain.
you can't get to put it out, so you just have to call that area a loss.
That's
especially
a loss.
A peak of a mountain like that.
Exactly.
But they should they should invest a lot of time into making a giant wind creator that could just blow the hurricane clouds to the West Coast.
Yeah, come on.
That's it. But you want to really be careful you don't blow them over land because that could cause some unnecessary damage.
Texas would get screwed in the process.
Sorry, Texas, exactly.
Yeah, Texas would just you get all the hurricanes over you, but
talk
they're
about a
headed
lawsuit
to the right place.
Talk about a lawsuit.
I might
We
edit that out of
miscalculated
the pod,
wind.
Will.
Yeah, talk about.
I don't want that idea getting out there. That's ours.
Anyways, in Palm Springs, great movie by the way on Hulu. Temperatures are upwards of like 109 degrees, and areas around Palm Springs and North California are very, very hot on the ground and just in general. So wildfires are not. We're not wildfires yet, besides this one, but fires are sparking up everywhere in Northern California right now. This wildfire started, in fact, from two adjacent fires that met up and fire fucked each other and became one big fire. So two fires just hit each other, and they're like, "You want to be friends?" And then they turn into this fucking wildfire.
Mark, I got to point out that Palm Springs is in Southern California. It's down there south of Los
California.
Angeles.
All of California, hot right now.
Hot, dry, windy. Luckily, it's not too windy in Northern California right now. But yeah.
Yeah. So stay dry on the East Coast. Stay cool on the West Coast. We're thinking about you and hoping everyone stays safe and keeps their homes, belongings, businesses, and lives. I love you guys. Good luck.
Detroit looking pretty sweet right now, if you ask me. Maybe some lakefront on the Great Lakes. Come on. Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
Center of the country.
Yeah,
Center's
you have that
looking good.
theory that's the place to be.
That's where I'm making my move. As soon as the bean gets his first paycheck,
Michigan.
I'm buying in the UP is where I'm buying, Upper Peninsula. So I'll send you guys a postcard.
Well, you're requested in the PNW, the beef.
The Pacific Northwest?
Yeah.
There's a lot going on up there right now.
Yeah, beef.
It's moist enough to avoid a lot of these big wildfires.
I do like it moist.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's more moist. But even some of those moist forests, you'd be surprised. They'll light up. All right, moving on. Keeping it kind of in the area, we're going to Nevada, where I'm living right now. And President Trump is upset with Nevada for their mail-in voting situation. From what I could tell from Trump's presser on Monday, he has 4 things he wants you to know this week. He's winning the TikTok negotiation. That he wants you to know that. He's going to try to protect people from evictions, allegedly. We haven't seen it yet. He hates Democratic mayors, and he wants every single American voting in person, is what I could gather from the Monday presser.
Yeah, that's the easy way to piss him off is to say, hey, I just saw a TikTok video that says I can mail and vote. Sounds pretty good.
But he said in his tweet last week that he's pro absentee ballots. He likes those, just not mail-in ballots.
What a distinction, Beef. Excellent point. So
Wait a minute.
Here,
Hang on before you go forward. Now, I might be untraveled and naive, but most absentee ballots are for like military, right?
So it
a
used
reason
to be,
you can't get to the polls.
Well, yeah, but
Right.
but most states have adopted a no reason absentee ballot, which you used to have to provide a reason.
Right.
Now you just send it in. You say,
My
oh,
point
makes
being,
sense.
you can't travel, and you're either in the United States or you aren't. So I feel like outside
Or
of like
for whatever reason,
military,
you just can't get there. Like, because you have a
Right.
shitty car.
or if you live in a new state but you still claim residence, like I think like you're allowed to maintain a voter registration in the state if you intend for that to be your ultimate residence. So like if you go live in DC for 3 years, but you're from Florida and you're going back home, you can remain your voter registration in Florida.
all
And then
kinds of
you would
loophole
absentee.
rules, I'm sure.
shouldn't be absent from your home base during COVID. Is all I'm saying. You should be where you're from. But anyways, I digress.
People have extenuating circumstances, and Trump thinks that people will take advantage of this. So he quote tweeted a tweet where supporters were like advocating in Nevada to protect the vote. I guess that's their movement, and they were outside with signs saying, protesting Nevada doing all mail-in votings, which is what they passed over the weekend. And Trump said in that quote tweet, "In an illegal late-night coup, Nevada's clubhouse governor made it impossible for Republicans to win the state. Post office could never handle the traffic of mail-in votes without preparation, using COVID to steal the state. See you in court." So he's going to sue the state of Nevada for going all mail-in. And yeah, that's his response. Like I said, the Nevada Senate passed that bill that expands mail-in voting for everybody in the general election, and Governor Steve Sisolak is expected to sign it. But Trump says the lawsuit, he said in his presser on Monday, that it's coming by today to challenge this bill in Nevada that they're going all mail-in.
Suing the state is this common practice for presidents to sue states?
I mean,
States
probably
to sue
not.
presidents, yes.
The issue, I mean, lawsuits back and forth between the states and the federal government, I think, happen all the time. But for this issue doesn't come up often, Mark, because it's the first time people are like having to be forced to do all mail-in because of COVID. So
yeah,
it's unique.
And for the record, I am pessimistic on the mail-in voting.
I mean, maybe there's more opportunity for fraud, maybe not.
It just seems like when you add integration layers to something.
More hands, more
hands. Like you got the mailman, you got like you keep. I've just noticed that the more integration layers you have, the more options you have for shit to fuck up. Whether it's malicious or not,
This is so the difference is absentee is you request an absentee. The general mail-in means that every registered voter would get a ballot mailed to them. Right,
which sounds like a disaster.
No, we did it for the primaries in Nevada, and it was totally fine. So
right.
But here's what's fucked about it. There are certain states that do mostly mail-in, right? Like I think 42% of all ballots were mailed in 2016. But the argument is, so Trump is saying there's rampant fraud, but there's no evidence of there being fraud. Now there will be a different thing that happens.
I don't want to call it fraud, mistakes.
But this is like essentially like if you were like running in the Olympics and you had the power to start calling out the clock before you ran the race. Be like, I just don't know if the clock's any good. I'm hearing a lot of things about the clock being a little off.
How'd the census go this year? Did you guys all fill out your census?
I did. I filled my census.
I'd like to see the stats on how many people filled out the fucking census because it's essentially.
I filled it out.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and admit that I didn't.
Well, it's online now. The census is online now.
I understand that, but so is probably going to be some sort of voting. I'm just saying, add integration layers, watch what happens.
Yeah, okay. Well, so there's skeptics, obviously, and that's what President Trump is saying. He's saying you should only allow mail-in for absentees only. But I think like this kind of like him threatening to delay it is just trying to like fire up the voting base. And
he's
also
trying to do two things. Yeah.
To discourage other states from trying to go totally mail-in because they're like, I don't want to deal with the fucking
he's
lawsuit.
Picking an issue that he can get the base fired up about, which is potential fraud. And he's also sowing potential doubt that if he loses the election, that maybe it was fraudulent.
Spin master always at work, yes.
The point is, I don't like that. I don't like what he's doing there, but I don't disagree with the fact that the actual counting of the votes could be troublesome. If it's
most states, but it's just stupid because he's sitting there saying he's okay with absentee, but most states have no reason absentee. So the bottom line is if you don't want to go to the fucking poll, you don't have to.
I barely trust the voting machines. So for that argument, Mark, I'm already like, well, it could be rigged already. I don't even know.
I always pull up the skirt of the machines when I get there, check and see what's under the hood.
Well, I just don't know if it really takes down your answer correctly.
There's like you just have to a little person in there.
Changing your answers.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what's happening right now with Trump's going after Nevada for the mail-in ballots, and we'll see what happens on that front overall before we get to November 3rd. And that voting update was brought to you by our sponsors at PredictIt.org, the stock market of politics. Be sure to go to PredictIt.org/promo/hardfactor20 to get your first $20 matched in the stock market of politics and bet on some of these upcoming elections with us. And today's market that we're looking at it's a spin on the Democratic VP pick. And it is the Dem VP nominee a 2020 candidate. So basically, yes is Kamala Harris or Liz Warren, and no is the field. And it's right now about a coin flip.
Oh, what a great market that is.
Yeah, yes had been dominant, and then no is now surging, but with the news of everybody being upset about Kamala as the alleged pick. So right now, that's a cool market to get in on. It's a coin flip market. If you really feel like if the field is going to take it here and that like the pushback against Kamala is too much, you can more like do a double up. And if you feel like Kamala, the favorite,
double down.
Yeah, exactly.
Double down on Kamala if you want.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's a cool market, and you get also Liz Warren as the backup, I guess. With that
not going to happen.
Nice little tricks of PredictIt where you can find basically the same markets, and then so you can max bet if you really are certain on something.
I like this because it's the field is everything. The no is the field. So if you, I think a lot of people right now are saying, well, it's probably not Kamala because of all the pushback, but I just don't know who I'd like in the field. and that's why you see the no surging in this market.
Right.
So,
I see. One of my favorite markets right now is will Joe Biden drop out before November 1st? But I wrote to Predict It yesterday and asked them to change it so it's more accurate, and it's will Joe Biden get lost before November 1st?
inside the
thereby
they'll probably change that for you. Yeah.
yeah, will he get lost somewhere? All right, guys, let's talk about TikTok. President Trump has agreed to hold off on his potential executive order banning TikTok for 45 days or until September 15th to give Microsoft an opportunity to potentially buy the Chinese-based app that is currently valued at $50 billion, a ton of cash.
That's pretty good.
Apparently, it's been reported that Microsoft is interested in 30% of the app, so essentially buying the U.S., Canadian, New Zealand, and a couple of their territories of the app, to which Trump said would be problematic. Also very hilarious. Trump is, I don't know if he knows, like, or if this has been done before, but it feels like, to me, this is when a businessman becomes a political official. He's trying to, like, negotiate a commission for the U.S. Treasury Department.
He's art of the dealing the shit out of it.
Oh yeah, this is what I brought up yesterday. He's trying to get a better deal for Microsoft, and he's trying to get more jobs in the U.S. and stuff like that. Like, he might actually want Microsoft to buy it, but he's pretending like he doesn't. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
But what he
in
said
fact,
was-
the whole thing, the whole threat to ban it was just to open this discourse. Probably.
Potentially. But the thing he said was that he said that part of the amount paid to buy TikTok would have to come through the U.S. Treasury Department because it'd be making the deal possible. So he wants a little taste of the deal, little finder's fee for putting it together. That's got to be illegal somehow, but good for us.
Sounds
Anyway,
shitty, yeah.
let's take
I mean, if it works out, like we were saying yesterday, like, Microsoft buying TikTok is kind of a win-win for everybody. The people get to keep the app, and the government is not worried about it, stealing the data of
Yeah,
the
and
citizens,
eventually, if all the tech companies are U.S. owned and their annual income equals many countries' GDPs, then they are the government. So something else to think about down the line. If all the money lies with the fucking tech CEOs, it's going to be a weird thing.
Yeah, but it's just always. I mean, the government industrial complex has been so in charge of American,
yes, the GIC, of course,
for so long. It's just a different industry now. Maybe.
Yeah, suck the gick. All right, guys, let's take it to the internet for the creepiest tweet of the week from @Alan Hay, a CBS reporter who is quoting 65-year-old South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham on TikTok, quote, "I'm not a user of TikTok. I don't meet the profile of your average TikTok user, but I've come to look at some of the content, and now I know why people like TikTok. There's a lot of good stuff there on TikTok." To which Michelle Adcock responded, "He ended up on gay TikTok, didn't he? Or at least Hamilton TikTok." Which I think is very. Yeah,
That's why they need the reverse age limit, like you guys were saying.
Didn't he say he spent over an hour on it or something?
Yeah, this is like a childless
I just fell into
person.
the rabbit hole on there.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
He
It's
probably
like a childless person
not
telling you,
said
like,
that. Yeah.
you know what I like to do on a Saturday is just watch the kids play at the park. It's just real.
Yeah.
It's real. Nothing better than watching the kids play at the park.
What was he thinking?
I don't know. All right, what's up with
He
the
couldn't
drug?
control himself, Mark. He just loved that TikTok so much.
Was it back to me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit! Well, let me get to it. Sorry there. All right, this one is actually an awesome story. Unlike the natural disasters, if only they were all like this. Jingleheimer86 sent this one to me, and he just gets me, I guess. A cat that was trained by Sri Lankan drug dealers to deliver inmates drugs was so successful that he himself became a criminal and was arrested. That's right. Meower Lansky was detained last week with 2 grams of heroin, 2 SIM cards, and a memory chip hidden in a plastic bag tied to his collar on the prison grounds.
Wow.
So,
nice
yeah.
haul by the cat.
Yeah, Al Kapoor was immediately locked up in maximum security prison, and the streets of Sri Lanka are safe once more. That is for a few hours at least, as no one was going to keep Furball Escobar in a box for long. The adorable criminal easily escaped from its holding room like the cat of Meowdy Frisco the first time the guards came to feed it, and got through a fence never to be seen again. So they literally, the first time they opened the door, the fucking cat, gone.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So they locked the cat up, right? The cat,
Yeah.
they threw away the key. But let's talk about how hard it is to train a fucking cat, because the drug dealers that worked this out, kudos to them. the patience
It's easier
level.
than you think.
Mother
I think it's
Teresa
easier than
level
you
patience.
think.
Well, you're both. I mean, you're both right. It does
It's
take.
food. All you need is food.
It takes a lot of skills, but here's to the Beeves' point. Police suspect that the drug traffickers who train the cat are also part of the same cartel that was caught training an eagle to smuggle drugs in the suburb of
Food
Colombo.
again. They had like
successfully.
fish for the eagle.
So,
Yeah.
They're choosing the hardest animals. They're like,
yeah,
These guys are awesome. I like this drug cartel.
yeah. They are
they're like a
associated
challenge.
with Sri Lankan underworld crime boss and Gada Laka, who's super famous. He actually allegedly died this past month, but
He's alive training cats to deal drugs.
His
or to traffic
underlings,
drugs.
his underlings are, but there's also some interesting paperwork, or maybe he did one of those fake his own death things. Anyways,
Nice.
they raided a farm of his and they found an air rifle, bullets, and the eagle that was previously delivering drugs just chilling out in the farm.
An
They
air
didn't fi-
rifle? What
Yeah.
were they using an air rifle?
Probably to shoot the eagle when it wouldn't deliver drugs.
To train it?
Yeah.
Non-lethal rounds to
Yeah.
as a punishment. These guys are like the Gracies of drug smuggling. Like, you know,
Yeah,
like
exactly. They're the best.
Their specialty is training non-traditional drug smuggling animals.
Yep.
I mean, like, how good could the business of selling small amounts of drugs to inmates in Sri Lanka be versus the amount of time it trains a cat? Now, granted, the cat got caught.
Well, no, the cat's free, and this was a feral kitten. You could tell.
Beef, they probably could have put their time and efforts elsewhere.
Yeah.
You think so? I don't know.
Yes.
I think the animal drug dealing is a pretty because the drone drug
Like,
dealing is the
I don't
next
know,
step.
bribing a guard for fuck's sake.
Did they, why did they lock the cat up? Like for questioning or
Yeah, I don't know. Beav. There was conflicting reports. Some people said that at first they were gonna put like a tracker on the cat and like do the thing where it, like the murder hornet where it leads it back to the drug den.
track it back to the base.
But I don't think they even got that far because they opened the door one time and the cat was fucking out of there.
Yeah. Have you tried to keep a kitten, like a feral kitten, inside?
No,
it's not easy.
One that knows it's going to get air rifled if it doesn't get back to the.
did you see the picture of this cat too? It's really pretty.
Yeah, it's adorable.
Well,
Authorities.
it's a kitten. You could tell how skinny it is. Like it's not.
It's got the fur too, so like it looks bigger, but it can get through smaller things because it's really small, even though the fur makes it look bigger. Authorities have said they will not be attempting to pursue the skilled cat, probably because they know they are outmatched. Also, catching a cat can be stressful and is very unchill. Unlike our sponsor, Caliper CBD, which has the most chill CBD product in the market.
There you
and
go.
of course, I'm talking about the Hard Factor host's very favorite form of CBD, Caliper CBD powder packets.
Oh, yeah.
Unlike CBD oils, Caliper CBD powder is completely tasteless and mixes easily in any food or drink of your choice. You don't need to do anything with the temperature of the liquid, like get it hot to mix it or anything like that. Just drop it in your favorite drink at your favorite temperature, lightly stir it for like a few seconds and enjoy. No weird taste, no oily residue or mouthfeel, precisely 20 milligrams of CBD in each packet of Caliper CBD. Never question how much you're taking. It's clinically proven you absorb 450% more CBD with Caliper CBD powder compared to like those
crazy.
fucking tinctures, which is ridiculous. And Caliper gives you all the benefits of CBD in just 15 minutes. So you're going to get it pretty quick. That's just also twice as fast as those stupid oils.
Yeah. You're gonna feel like the drug dealing cat like just spent 5 minutes in your room delivering you everything you needed, and all your worries will just wash
But
away.
it's not drugs and it's completely legal.
Exactly.
Yeah,
except
it's like
that
being
was
arrested
totally
by
on the
Sri
level.
Lankan guards. You're going to be where you want to be in a few
Yeah,
minutes.
but then you're gonna escape later once the CBD kicks in, and you're out of
Caliper
there.
CBD comes in affordable 10 and 30 count packs. May I recommend the 30 count? You can get started for under $20. Unlike some products out there, Caliper is completely THC free. All the goodness of CBD with no high. Don't worry about. Someone DM'd us once and said, "Am I going to fail a drug test with Caliper?" No, you're not. Get 20% off your first order when you use promo code FACTOR at trycaliper.com/factor. You can try Caliper CBD. Risk-free for 30 days. If you don't love it, they'll give you a full refund. That's TryCaliper, which is CALIPER. So that's CALIPER.com/factor. Don't forget promo code FACTOR for 20% off of your first order. Do it.
Do it. All right, let's take it over to a little coronavirus lightning round. All right, first up, the USA is still number one across the board in everything. Number one in cases, number one in testing, number one in deaths, number one by far, of course, on every single stat you could possibly have on the coronavirus. We are the champs of the coronavirus. Brazil and India are making runs, but just like the gold medal count in the Summer Olympics, nobody's going to catch us. Right?
How does that feel, China? It's like we're beating you at your own game, you piece of shit.
Exactly. Yeah. Worldwide case count, 18.1 million, 10.8 million recovered with 691,000 deaths. U.S. count, 4.78 million cases, 2.3 million recovered, and 158,000 deaths.
Who do you think's developing all the immunities, boys?
Yeah, that's right. We got the most antibodies.
China.
We got the most vaccines in the works. That's everything. Right.
You thought you guys were the best at high dive. Now we're the best at high dive.
We're banned from the most countries.
We can't go anywhere.
We're number one in every category, though. Like even the recovery aspects, like looking for the vaccine, treatments, and testing. We're doing the most of everything.
This is the way the founding fathers would have wanted it. This is
also the catching it and the dying from it.
Yeah, the good and the bad. Just kicking ass and everything. Yeah,
just doing it number one across the board. For some reason, this number one performance has Nancy Pelosi talking shit about Dr. Debbie Birx, who was brought in to help the CDC. For her not speaking out about Trump's Lysol jokes back in April. Then Birx gave a pretty reasonable reply, in my view. And then now Trump is also pissed off, and he and Pelosi are fighting over whether or not the lovely scientist is helping or not. More political spin bullshit for you right there. Meanwhile, in Georgia, 260 employees in Gwinnett County have tested positive for COVID or needed to call out of work due to a COVID exposure. The day before, that count was 141 people. So basically, schools that are trying to go actually back to school are finding out how it goes when you have people meeting up, coming into offices, and for the first time, mixing and remote school looking more and more possible.
I hope our sisters didn't read that story.
Quick conspiracy theory for you guys real quick. 260 employees in Georgia. That's the same amount of kids that tested positive from that YMCA, 260, also in Georgia. What's going on down there? Illuminati stuff, 260, 2 plus 6 is 8.
If you type divided by, if you type in 260 Corona or any 3 digits in Corona in Google, it will come up with some sort of story about Corona. Remember that conspiracy
Which proves it's fake.
Yeah, it's fake.
No, not really. Okay. No. Finally, the New York Times put out a funny article about the anti-mask movements of the Spanish flu in 1918 and 1919, that pandemic. And it was eerily similar to 2020. Basically, the more mask rules that were put into place across the country, especially on the West Coast at that time, the more super aggressive anti-mask groups and demonstrations popped up in response. Even women suffragists were anti-mask for some reason. So basically, no matter when you try to do a mask rule in America, it will not be followed.
We want the right to vote, but we never want to actually do it.
Right. They were calling it a muzzle or something. All kinds of groups took it up for different reasons. And basically it just will never work in America. And actually back then they were enforcing the fines and jail time when people didn't wear masks in public. And it still didn't get 100% compliance.
I'm going to continue to wear a mask. I'll take one for the team.
Of course. I think, obviously, if you're a citizen looking out for your fellow citizen, wearing the mask helps you to not spread it if you are asymptomatic. And it just, in general, cuts down the transmission rate of anything that's airborne like this. So it's the right thing to do. Wash your hands and wear a mask. But even back, 100 years ago, a century ago, the same exact shit.
Are you saying there were some assholes back then, too?
Well, just saying, the same thing happened. Yeah. The scientific community was like, wear the fucking mask. It definitely cuts down the spread. And just people just didn't give a fuck. And that was 700,000 deaths, I think, by the end.
You may be right that it's less deadly than they're saying, but that doesn't mean it's not deadly. So wear a fucking mask. It's not hard. Yeah. It's not hard.
But I mean, the thing about it is, at this point, you can just say that to your blue in the face. Nobody's going to fucking listen to you.
Yeah, no, I don't bother saying it. I don't bother saying it anymore. Yeah, it's no problem.
Yeah, I was in Bandera, Texas over the weekend, and I overheard a couple at a pizza shop say, oh, yeah, we came in from San Antonio to Bandera because you know what? No one's going to give us a hard time for not wearing a mask out here. And the guy at work at the pizza counter goes, yeah, just like it's to each his own. I'm like, no, it's not to each his own. Anyway, is that the end of the lightning round?
Unfortunately, it is.
All right, guys, let's take over to the Beeves Nature Corner for a couple stories that put in context how terrible it would be to be an insect. First up, let's kick it over to the mountaineer state of West Virginia for tripping zombie cicadas and their STDs. Researchers at the West Virginia University, who have quite an expertise in STDs, have seen the return of a bizarre phenomenon where cicadas, looking to expand their minds and find some answers to the bigger questions like why they sleep for 13 to 17 years, are ingesting a magic mushroom called Massapora, which does more than make music sound better. This fungus turns them into proverbial zombies. See, what happens when they take the mushroom is male cicadas who are infected with the mushroom spore, they involuntarily start flicking their wings, which mimics the mating call of female cicadas, and they do that to lure in other healthy male cicadas in a crying game-like scenario, and then they pass the infection along to them, aka a cicada STD that makes you trip and takes over your body for the sole purpose of infecting others.
Wow.
Yeah.
What happens what happens with this thing? Does it hurt them?
Yeah, well, to make things worse, the spores eat away at the genitalia, butts, and abdomens of the cicadas until they eventually fall off, and not even the longest fish set could make dealing with losing your jennies while tripping palatable, I gotta say. So,
Are they gonna start growing cicada dicks on their arms?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if they're there yet scientifically, but literally, if you take this
drug
thing
that makes you trip, but also makes your dick fall off,
and it takes over your body, and your only purpose is to infect others with the same. So you get high, but then you're a zombie after that. So it's kind of like heroin. Let's chat about beetles, guys. Enough about cicadas. Ecologists have been studying a beetle with more grit than a D3 fullback at an NFL tryout. I'm talking the Regambarita attenuata. Pretty good, Pat. It's a Japanese beetle who, like most other insects, is on the menu for the amphibious predator, the frog. But the Regambarita has something that most other beetles don't, and that's grit, guys. See, for most beetles, when they get swallowed whole by a frog, a.k.a. cut from the team of life, they can see that this is the end of their beetle journey and make their way towards the locker room of death. But not the Regambarita. See, they have a motor that would make Lombardi blush. Scientists have found that when swallowed by the Pelophlax nigor malacatus frog, 93% of these beetles refuse to quit, fighting their way out through the only lane available to them. And I'm of course talking about through the frog's vents, a.k.a. their anuses.
The Andy Dufresne it.
Yeah, they go in the mouth, out the butt.
Shit tunnel.
Wow.
Pretty
They
awesome.
crawl out full?
Yeah, most of them. See, the quickest run from mouth to anus.
7% don't.
Yeah, 7% don't. 7% meet their maker.
Get that acid, stomach acid death.
Yeah, the lazy ones.
It's got to be acidic in a frog's organs.
Yeah, my guess is the 7% are guys with off the field issues. Anyway, the quickest run from mouth to anus, guys, was just 6 minutes, or the equivalent of a 4.840 for a fullback. The average being 4 hours, which means they usually emerged back on the field, quote, entangled in fecal pellets. So, like,
I have a question. How hard is it to get your hand on these beetles and these frogs? Because we could have a wink, wink. We won't, but we could have we will have a competition.
Absolutely. And Mark, that brings me to my next point.
Yeah. I mean,
which is,
I won't pick my beetle, and I think my beetle's going to beat your beetle. Maybe we have a little Zoom date. Yeah.
Who's making it out that frog's ass the fastest?
That's what I'm saying.
With a great point, Mark, and I think it's important to give credit to the real heroes of this experiment, and those are the frogs who thought they were getting an easy meal, but ultimately had hard-nosed beetles trucking through their intestines
It's
and
bad
eventually
for both parties.
out their asses. Well, scientists were saying that 7% is enough for the frogs to just always throw caution to the wind, even though that beetle's probably coming out their butthole and alive, and probably pretty angry. But 7% of them they get a meal from. So
Really? And so they still haven't learned it.
They must be pretty tasty.
Yeah, they must taste so good.
What a delicacy.
Yeah.
I know.
It's like the blowerfish in The Simpsons, right? Or
Yeah.
like,
Poisonous.
It's like you have a 90% chance of death, but Homer ate it anyways. Yeah.
Yeah, talk about bubble guts, guys. Anyway, that's going to do it for Hard Factor. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you haven't, give us a follow at Hard Factor News, at Hard Factor Pat, at Hard Factor Will, at Hard Factor Mark. Also, we're going to be doing 5-star reviews and voicemails tomorrow. So make sure you leave us a 5-star review. Whatever you write, we will read. That's on Apple Podcasts. Go to Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review. Whatever you write in there, we'll read. And then our voicemail number is 512-270-1480. So leave a voicemail. Questions are encouraged. And most importantly, guys, have a great fucking day.